friends. My name is Miss Holly. Welcome to Chesapeake Public Library's preschool science class. Today we're going to talk about pumpkins. Do you like pumpkins? You can see lots of pumpkins this time of year. Pumpkins grow from seeds. They need lots of water and sun, and then the vines grow. They grow and they grow for 4 months before the pumpkins are ready. An average pumpkin weighs about 13 pounds, but some of them are so big, they're giant. They weigh 1,000 pounds. Do you like to eat pumpkin food? Do you know some pumpkin food? Pumpkin pie, pumpkin cookies, pumpkin muffins, pumpkin breads, and did you know you can even eat the pumpkin seeds? You roast them and they're good. Let's read a story about pumpkins. The Fierce Yellow Pumpkin by Margaret Wise Brown. There was once a small pumpkin in a great big field, a very small green pumpkin the size of an apple. The fierce sun burned down on the little pumpkin, and he grew and grew, and pretty soon there was a fat little, round little, yellow little pumpkin in the great big field. Now this fat little, round little, yellow little pumpkin grew so fat and full of himself that he began to think he was a very fierce vegetable, as fierce as the sun that warmed his fat, round sides. "Ho, ho, ho," he would say, "when I grow up, I will scare the field mice out of the field like the scarecrow does." The little pumpkin would dearly have loved to make a fierce, ferocious, gobble-gobble face like the scarecrows at the far end of the field. But try as he would, his own pumpkin face stayed smooth and yellow and shining. Then one day the sun did not shine as hot as fire, and blackbirds, skies full of blackbirds, began flying over the big field. There was a burning smell of leaves in the air and a crisp tingle that tickled the fat little pumpkin's sides. There were so many birds in the sky that the scarecrow was busy from before daylight until after daylight chasing the birds out of his field. His gobble-gobble face became droopy and dreadful. The wind blew woo through his hair. He lost one scarecrow eye. The old scarecrow knew that if there is anything a blackbird is scared of, it's a one-eyed scarecrow. But then, that night and the night after, something began to happen. The first cold frost came in the night, and the fat little, round little, yellow little pumpkin woke up one morning and discovered that he was a fierce, orange-yellow pumpkin, the color of the sun, a fierce, burning color. Then 3 little children came galloping through the big field, past the old one-eyed scarecrow. They ran right up to the fat little, round little, orange little pumpkin. And one little girl called out, "Here he is! Here is our terrible pumpkin!" So they cut the pumpkin's heavy stem with a little saw knife. Each taking turns, they carried the pumpkin home across the field to their house. The little pumpkin liked that. And then, with the little saw knife, they hollowed him out all empty inside, sweet-smelling and clean as a whistle. Then they cut one big round eye in the side of his face, a big round hole, and the little pumpkin liked that. "Ho, ho," laughed the pumpkin, the fierce yellow pumpkin. "I'm a one-eyed pumpkin for sure." Then they cut another round hole on the other side of his face. "Ho, ho," laughed the pumpkin, the fierce yellow pumpkin. I'm a fierce yellow pumpkin for sure. But that wasn't all. The children cut a sharp shape in the pumpkin for a nose, the shape of a witch's hat. And that wasn't all either. They took the little saw knife and they sawed zigzag up and zigzag down until the pumpkin had a whole mouthful of sharp zigzag teeth. Then with a loud ho ho, the little pumpkin laughed a dreadful zigzag laugh across his zigzag teeth. Ho ho ho, hee hee hee, the mice will run when they see me. He was certainly a fierce and ferocious pumpkin with a terrific, terrible face. After a while it was night. There was a black darkness all around, a inky black darkness. The children came in with a lighted candle and stuck it inside the pumpkin so that the light shined out his big round eyes and his triangle nose, and the light shined over his zigzag teeth. He was a horrible sight to see. Grrr, in the dark. He grinned a zigzag grin there in the corner of the porch. Grrr. And the children danced about him, singing a song to the terrific, terrible pumpkin with the zigzaggy grin. And the little pumpkin was fierce and happy, and he sang, ho, 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 hee, 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 the mice will run when they see me. The end. I have a little flannel board story here about pumpkins. This pumpkin is happy. This pumpkin is sad. This pumpkin is sleepy. And this pumpkin is mad. Cut them up in pieces small, in pumpkin pie, their best of all. Okay, friends, let's use our pumpkin to learn about some measuring. We're going to measure circumference, height, and weight. Now, circumference is the distance around something. If this were the Earth, it would be the equator. Now, let's use a measuring tape and see how big around this pumpkin is. So on my measuring tape, you can see that there are inches marked off. So you take the tape and you go all the way around the middle until you reach, it says, their number right there where they touch is 36. This pumpkin is 36 inches around. The circumference is 36 inches. That's the circumference. Okay, now we're going to measure the height. The height is how tall it is. I have a ruler here, and so you stand the ruler up next to it, and I'm going to use this inside row here. It starts at 0, and let's see, it goes up to, measuring across, 10. So my pumpkin is 10 inches tall. So let's put that on here. 10 inches for height. Okay, now we want to weigh it. I have a scales here. And see the numbers here? These numbers are pounds. So I'm going to put my pumpkin on the pan here and see it goes down to, it's between 14 and 15. It's 14 and a half pounds. And remember when I said earlier an average pumpkin is 13 pounds? This one's 14 and a half. Is 14 and a half bigger than 13? I think it is. So our pumpkin's just a little bit bigger than average. It's 14 and 1/2 pounds. LBS stands for pounds. So that's how much our pumpkin weighs with everything. And now we're going to see how much just the shell of the pumpkin weighs, because we're going to cut it open and take all the guts out of the inside. So let's do that. Now what I'm going to do now, you can do at home, but have a grown-up do this part of it, and that is cutting it open. We need to do a knife here. So you cut all of this. Have you ever carved a pumpkin? Put a face on it? This is a good time of year to do that. Do you like the scary faces? Or do you like the friendly faces? Or even silly faces? What kind of face are you planning on putting on your pumpkin? Are you going to carve your pumpkin? Or are you going to paint it? I like to carve my pumpkin because I like the pumpkin smell. Nothing smells like pumpkin. Okay, I've cut all the way around. Get the top off here. Okay, you can see inside there all the pumpkin guts, and smells good. Okay, so now we've cut it open. Let's scoop all the guts out and see how much they weigh. It's better to use your hands. Okay, I've cleaned out all the inside of the pumpkin, and we'll weigh how much the shell weighs, and we'll weigh the guts. Most of the guts are these fibers and the seeds. Look at all those yummy seeds. You can roast them and eat them. Those are good. Okay, so let's weigh these on the scale. Didn't move much at all, did it? It moved about half a space. So we'll say the guts weigh 1/2 pound. And now let's see how much the shell weighs. Now we need to remember to put the cover back on. And let's see. It went right to 14. So this is the seeds, and this is the shell. Now if we add these two together, 14.5 is the total. Look, it's the same as it was before we cut it open. So inside we have 1/2 pound seeds and fibers, and there's a 14-pound shell. Thank you for coming to preschool science class today. I hope you learned something about pumpkins and about measuring. We'll see you next time. Bye.